Bishop Rick Thomas, excited to be with you today. And I just want to drop a quick thought into your mindset as we go coming towards the end of this year, going into a new year. It's hard to believe that we're in November and we've already bypassed all the rest of this year, and we're headed into the end of this year. But really, the end should really be nothing more than a foundation for a new beginning. The idea to understand in our spirit is this, is that we are not people that are designed to be controlled by the past, or to really allow the circumstance of the now to control our lives. But we're people who are supposed to look ahead. The Bible says that where there is no vision, the people perish. Where there's a lack of understanding of the revelatory insight of God in our lives, then we fall by the wayside. He put it this way in the book of Habakkuk. He said that if we would write the vision and make it plain, we have to write our vision down and make it plain so that others can read that vision and they will run with the vision. In other words, the vision will never leave you alone. There's always other people that will come alongside of you for that vision to come to pass. The next thing we understand is this, is that even though it may seem to tarry, it will not tarry. Why? Because a vision is what comes from God. It's important to understand in our natural selves, we are seeing things all the time with the natural eye. But with the Spirit, we can look into things and see things that you cannot see with the natural eye. So what I'm looking at in the natural does not determine what God has for my future. In fact, God says He goes before us and He will prepare the way. The steps of a righteous man are ordered of the Lord. See, what are you saying to me today, Bishop? I'm saying to you that a visionary is someone who lives in the future and not in the past. They refuse to allow themselves to be controlled by the, if you will, the failures or also the successes of the past. You can't live in the past. It is someone, a visionary, someone that refuses to allow what's happening in the natural around them to control or to identify or to qualify them for what they are set out to do. Their vision is what sets that in place. The Bible teaches very clearly that we are to look and see what God has for us. Eye have not seen, ear have not heard, or entered into the heart of man, the things that God has prepared for them. In other words, they're already there waiting for us to identify. And he says this in the book of Corinthians, 2 Corinthians chapter 4. He says, look not at that which is seen, look at that which is not seen. That which is seen is temporal. What's around me is temporal. But that which is not seen is an eternal factor. What are you saying today, Bishop? I'm saying this to you. Stop allowing yourself to have your life controlled by the past or by the natural circumstances in the realm in which you're living today. Always allow the future to identify who you are and what you're to accomplish in life. You are visionary people serving a visionary God, which means that my life is controlled by what my future looks like and not what the natural circumstances dictating to me. It's real important to understand that we're people designed to be futuristic in our thoughts, in our lifestyles, in our decisions. Everything is about what lies ahead of us. A unique story we find in the Bible. We find that David has been brought in and he came to see his brothers, and Goliath is out there challenging everyone, and the army of God is hiding behind rocks and they're afraid of him. And David says, well, let me ask you this. What is it going to be for the man who destroys this giant, who defeats this enemy? What is the reward? In other words, David said, it's not about that he's out there. It's not about that he's 9 feet tall. It's not about that he's a man of war. It's not about the fact that he can kill people just very easily. But the reality is this. The future says that God has ordained me, has anointed me to be a king. Consequently, I'm not worried about the moment. I want to know in the future what is going to be given to the man who defeats this giant. The moment they identified what the reward would be, David went out based upon the fact that he served a living God. He served a God of the future. He defeated the giant, not so he could say, I've defeated the giant, but so he could obtain and he could possess what God had already ordained for his life. God has things He's ordained for you today. But until you become a visionary, serving a visionary God, you will never be able to step into those things that God has prepared for you.